late in the war, again, that nice, beautiful April days. We were shooting like crazy across the top of Germany. And a Major Benjamin of 743rd was kind of out ahead scouting a little bit. And he came back to the battalion, and he pulled my tank and George Gross's tank out and told us to go with him. So we did. We came to a place where there was a long train, a boxcar. My recollection is that the fireman and the engineer on the train jumped off some distance from us as we were approaching, and I can remember seeing them running. And I can remember firing the .30 caliber at them. Just why not? They were German, you know. But anyway, I can remember pulling up alongside the train, the boxcars, Grossi and I, and Major Benjamin. Well, as it turned out, it was a train full of concentration camp prisoners who were being transported from one of their camps. I think it had been Belsen. I think they'd been in Belsen on their way to another camp, trying to get ahead of the...
Stay ahead of you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So there they were, and God, all these people, men, women, children, jam-packed in those boxcars. Couldn't believe my eyes. There they were. Now they know they're free, they're liberated, see, and it was a nice thing. And I was there for a while that afternoon. Well, you know, you got to feed these people water. They're in bad shape. And Major Benjamin took some pictures, and so George Gross took some pictures too. I didn't stay there the rest of the day. That I went back, but Grossi there all night and into the next day. There was a tank destroyer battalion nearby too, and they got that tank destroyer battalion. And they got them to go to all the surrounding people, German people in the air, and made them come up with food and water and everything for these people.
The president died on the 12th of April. Do you remember that?
I remember it very well because we were feeling so good. We had just hit the Elbe River, and we knew the war was really over as far as we were concerned. In fact, we had one more battle at Magdeburg, but we were feeling victorious and happy, you know. And then they gave us a word. They stopped the column and told each tank crew, and that was a great shock because we didn't expect it at all, and it seemed terribly ironic that great man who had held the country together for all those years would die just before this final victory. So it took the edge off the victory for us. But then I went from that news almost directly to the train, and the train lifted my spirits in a different way. We were going down toward Magdeburg in a tank column, and the major, one of the two majors of the battalion, stopped my tank and Carroll Walsh's tank and said to follow him. He had discovered a group of Finnish soldiers who had been prisoners of war, and they told him there was a train down the way full of people. So we went down to see it and came across the train. And Carroll said that we had a little fight with the German soldiers left to guard the train, but I don't remember anything of that sort at all. I just remember pulling up to the train. Here's this long train with mixed baggage cars, freight cars, and carriage cars, and people sitting or lying along the track very despondently and seemingly half alive. And we pulled up, and they saw the tanks. And, well, you have that picture that Major Benjamin took when the people first realized that these are Americans, that they're saved. And they came running toward us. I remember one woman found a German pack and rummaged through it and found a probably a tin of cheese, and held it up with a triumphant yell, and all the men started mobbing her, trying to get it. I had to leap down and protect her from them while she got away. Then we inspected the place and found 18 people died before we could get them anything to eat. Others were lying there half dead, and some others in pretty good shape. While we were there, they went down to the creek that ran at the foot of the valley and cleaned up as best they could, put on whatever good clothes they had, and then came to greet us. They left my tank there and took Carol's back. I had, I think, 4 infantrymen with me for a while, and they went back. So my tank was the guardian of the train for 24 hours. There were still Finnish soldiers in the group. It was a mixed group of Finnish prisoners of war, Hungarian and other Middle European Jews. They had all come from Bergen-Belsen, because Bergen-Belsen was about to be overrun by British troops, and they wanted to get these people out and execute them someplace where they could do it in proper style. So they were headed for a death camp. Naturally, when they saw us, they were pleased and thrilled, but also very dignified. He lined up and wanted to come and shake my hand and identify themselves. I was very moved by that. It was like an official reintroduction to the human race, because they would name their names and tell me where they were from and where they had been captured, and they were very dignified in doing it, and it seemed to be very important to them to let people know that they were still human beings, and they had cleaned up as well as they could, and were just very courageous people. It moved me to see them. You have pictures of those little girls who, with the big smiles on their faces, it just tore my heart out. I took all but the best one. The best one is the one of the woman with her arms out, just aware that the Americans are there. That was taken by Major Benjamin. All the rest of them I took with a little baby brownie that my wife had sent me. But that was a very moving time. I'm still filled with admiration of those people who maintain their sense of worth, their dignity, and their courage through all that they had gone through.
Do you remember the children that were on that train?
The children on the train, I remember them very well. Yes, I took quite a few pictures of them. I never had any idea then that I might run into 2 or 3 others later in life, as we have. I find that amazing that now 3 of them have appeared. 3 of those children are now late middle-aged people, and all very successful.
Can you tell us about when you got the call from Australia, from Lexi?
Yes. Yeah. I was sitting where I am now in my family room, reading the paper, and got a phone call, and a tremulous female voice said, "Is this Dr. George C. Gross?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Do you remember a train near Magdeburg?" Excuse me. I said yes, and she burst into tears, and then told me who she was, and we talked for quite a while, and I was very moved by it, coming out of the blue that way. And I agreed to write to her and so on, and we got acquainted through your site, through the good job that you and your class are doing. We got acquainted, and it was a moving experience for the 2 of us.